And there's another dimension that comes into play, which is the chat, at the same time that a broadcaster is
scrolling up and down.
So it's the chat and the interaction between the audience and the broadcaster and the game that gives it that added dimension to your media experience.
Now, there are a couple of different themes in the way I look at it. Is, you know, esports is obviously a huge part of the Twitch phenomenon with big games where you have, you know, hundreds of thousands of people watching. People play predominantly a couple key games, like, you know, League of Legends, Dota 2, and StarCraft, and games like that. And there's this whole other dimension, though, you mentioned sort of the broadcast that you can do. And I know it was a big thing last fall when Xbox and PlayStation both embedded Twitch into the new platform. So if you're sitting at home, you can broadcast to two of your friends, and that is still a Twitch broadcast, right?
Absolutely. In fact, it's very, very easy to broadcast from your console. If you have a PlayStation 4, the new PlayStation 4 controllers have a share button on them. And I've actually done it with my 6-year-old son, who figured it out before I did. But he's broadcasting Need for Speed, and you just hit the share button, and it takes you right to a screen, and you can connect with Twitch, and you're live. So it's that easy.
So you've got esports, you've got sort of, you know, obviously people broadcasting their gameplay. And one of the other things that I think has been fascinating to watch too is that, you know, now there are people doing talk shows on Twitch, interviews and things like that. So the platform really, I think, has expanded its widened its aperture of the types of things you can do. And even, I mean, music you guys are doing now, right?
Yeah, so I feel like, you know, it started with a lot of PC games, and esports were sort of the sparks that originally got Twitch off the ground and really made it popular from the beginning. And a lot of it grew very quickly from June of 2011 with esports and PC gaming. And then with the integration of the consoles, you know, about 40% of our broadcasters are now console gamers. So a lot of traffic is coming from console gaming, and that's also, you know, giving a lot more depth and variety to what content is actually being streamed on Twitch. Mobile is also now able to be streamed on Twitch with Asphalt 8. A GameWaffle game is being broadcast on Twitch. And I think people are just beginning to understand what the capabilities are. You know, publishers and developers are increasingly exploring what they can do on Twitch.
Right.
As far as, you know, broadcasting a game, Sony Online has talked openly about including the Twitch audience into their development process. So developers can actually broadcast some of the development process with the fans and get instant feedback. So as you're developing a game, you can broadcast live, and, you know, 5,000 people can actually give you instant feedback on how that game is going. So I think we're at the very beginning of really understanding how far this could go. And then as far as the music is concerned, we live streamed the Steve Aoki concert just a few weeks ago in Spain with very little promotion because it was a last-minute deal. And we got 350,000 views in
Hermit.
a couple of hours, and 250,000 of those were actually uniques. And I logged on and watched it live, and at the time I logged on, there was about 25,000 people concurrently watching this concert from all over the world. And I think that experience just, you know, it was like being at the show in my office.
No, that shared experience, I think, is one of the things that excites me about Twitch, is that you have, you know, sometimes hundreds of thousands of people around the world watching something at one moment together, and as you said, having interaction on it. And one of the things that I think has been a nice sort of outgrowth of Twitch's success is now you see things like Twitch plays Pokemon, which people might be familiar with, but that was a great sort of stunt that someone did where literally a mass audience was sort of playing a game of Pokemon. There was one with a goldfish in Street Fighter or something.
Twitch plays Pokemon. For those of you who don't know, the person who actually turned the chat into a mechanism that controlled the commands in Pokemon developed this, and I don't know who this person is, but by typing in chat commands, you could control Pokemon in the game. And it started off as complete anarchy, and everybody in the office was just laughing because Pokemon was just bumping into walls. But this is something, you know, common for the millennial generation. They like to come together and solve problems and work together to get ahead. In 17 days, the Twitch audience beat the Pokemon game, and 9 million people watched it, uniques, which is bigger than the Stanley Cup, 35 million views total, and 1.1 million people actually played it. So That's just
self-organized.
yeah. I mean, that was just an example of how people are coming together. And then somebody did a goldfish experiment. I don't know too many details about that, but basically the goldfish in a goldfish bowl is hooked up to controller commands, and needless to say, Pokemon's not doing very much with that one. Anyway, it's fun to watch.
Well, but what I like about it is that it shows that Twitch is a platform. I know you guys have open APIs. I mean, I've seen some people come to me all the time. You know, I've got a live TV guide for Twitch now on iOS, and I mean, it's an open platform, I think, for entrepreneurs and companies to look at as ways to sort of engage with the audience.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's one of the things that we repeat a lot internally at Twitch is the center of our universe is the viewer. And so instead of content is king, the chat room is king, and the people that are watching the stream is king. And the fans are the center of our attention, and the broadcasters are who we're there to serve. And so, part of the vision is to empower the broadcasters to have as many tools as they can to do what they can do on Twitch, and essentially hand that power over to them so that they can explore and do what they want. And again, I think where it goes from there is up to the imagination.
Well, I'm sure there'll be more coming online.
For sure.
Now, for one thing that I think fascinates a lot of people when I tell them about Twitch is the phenomenon of people watching other people play games. I think the converse like, why is that fun? Why is that interesting? You guys have found, obviously, that people not only watch for a little bit of time, but they will engage for a significant amount of time, right? Hours on end. I mean, tell us about the typical Twitch viewer. Is there a typical Twitch viewer? Who is that?
So right now, for live video, the average tune-in time per session is actually 106 minutes. And that is one of the reasons why Twitch was so valuable, is because of the engagement. And all of us in the media and marketing world are struggling to get the attention of people to buy games and to capture their attention. A lot of people can talk about reaching millions and millions of people, but if they're only reaching those people for 30 seconds or 2 minutes or 3 minutes, how valuable is that time? And so to have somebody tuned into Twitch for 106 minutes per session time it's literally unprecedented.
Right.
So, and I think that's what has led to us being the 4th largest site as far as peak internet traffic. Right. Twitch is number 4, and I think that a lot of it is because of the engagement time.
So Twitch is a brand moving forward. We obviously know, about the Amazon acquisition, which is great. But when you think of Twitch, I mean, in many ways now you're not really a content company. You're sort of, you work with a lot of partners that, I broadcast on there. Lots of media outlets do, game companies do. The Twitch brand, and consumers broadcast as well. So where do you sort of see Twitch going from here in terms of the types of broadcasting that happen on the platform?
I think one of the main objectives that Amazon has is to accelerate our growth. And so, we've been on a really steady climb over the last couple of years. And from here, we want to accelerate. We're reaching about 60 million people worldwide right now. We want to reach more than that. And I think we want to reach more gamers, more different types of gamers. I was talking to somebody a little bit earlier about reaching female gamers. I think as people start to broadcast more from mobile devices, that will attract a larger audience there as well. So I think as content continues to diversify and platform penetration begins to continue to diversify, we'll see a wider group of people. So bigger and better.
Bigger and better, not a bad thing. You work a lot with the game companies and game publishers. We worked on some stuff together. You have other things that you do with these companies. Tell me, how do game companies approach Twitch? Because Twitch certainly is a hot topic now. Everyone, I think, is like, do something on Twitch. What are we going to do? How do we engage with this audience? Certainly, the esports stuff is big, and the individual broadcasts are big. But as a content provider, whether it's a game company or a movie studio or music label, what are the opportunities that you think they have to engage with this audience, or what should they be doing?
Some of the best practices I'll share with you have been publishers that I think have done a good job in connecting the dots between what their PR efforts are and other announcements internally, beta launches, and really coordinating those and using Twitch to amplify those efforts. So for Titanfall, for example, we did a beta push and then we did a big push at launch.
I'm waiting for it. It's gonna
because
happen.
of the cohesion
We need
between
to break
the PR
20.
team and the marketing team, we were able to really amplify what was happening organically. And so I think it's, to consider Twitch as an opportunity to amplify what you're doing is really kind of the easiest entry point. And for a program like that, we reached about 10 million views during launch and 10 million with the beta, 5 million unique, and the engagement time was about half an hour with the beta and almost a full hour with the game at launch.
Wow.
So I would say that it's, connecting the dots internally and thinking of Twitch as a way to amplify what you're doing, because you can get it to a worldwide audience very quickly.
So if I'm a brand or a movie studio, and I think everyone's thinking, well, do I put a 30-second ad, a pre-roll, right, before this content? Is that what's effective? I know sometimes even Twitch broadcasters, like, you can do mid-rolls almost, right? Like I can be streaming, I can trigger things, right? It's more like allow ads to happen. What are the have you found are the most effective ways for sort of advertisers to engage with this audience? Is it the pre-roll ad, or is it something different?
Sight, sound, and motion, I think, is definitely something that everybody wants more of, and there isn't necessarily enough of sight, sound, and motion for advertisers to go around. So a straight pre-roll campaign is certainly effective. We can do other interesting innovations. For Ender's Game the movie, for example, we did a StarCraft tournament, and we called it the Ender's Cup. And it had, the tournament itself actually had Ender's Game branding within the game itself, and Ender's Game sponsored this tournament. And so there was really natural association between the movie and the game. And so it's lining up a brand or a movie or something that is authentic to the game, that the broadcasters, feel good about. You don't want them selling something or talking about something that doesn't resonate with them. So I think authenticity is something that we should all keep in mind when we think about integrations like that. But there's a lot of custom creative things that we can do that are relatively turnkey.
Now, another aspect of Twitch is that broadcasters themselves can have subscribers. YouTube just started this as well, but you guys were first out of the gate with it. And that's the idea that if I'm a broadcaster, just a regular visual, I can have people subscribe to my channel. I don't always $5, but you can set the price. It's like a lot of them I see at $4.99. How successful is that for the individual broadcasters from a revenue or subscriber perspective?
So right now, we have about 1.1 million broadcasters. And these are people who are broadcasting on Twitch on a regular basis. And out of those, we have about 8,000 partners. And once you become a Twitch partner, you're eligible to share in the advertising revenue that runs on your channel. And you can also sell subscriptions to your channel for $4.99 a month. We have lots of, we call them influencers or partners that are supporting themselves off of being gamers on Twitch. So it's really opened up a whole new business model for people who are really passionate about games to support themselves. And some of our most successful